Let's talk about a forecast
let's do it.
that's going to change at some point. I kind of tease
You're promising cooler weather eventually.
Now look, I said cooler weather. That doesn't necessarily mean cool weather.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Because we're actually just going to make it feel a little bit more like August. It actually feels, it's been above the average for temperatures for quite a while. We're sitting at 80s and 90s right now. Average high this time of year is 85, dropping down to 84. So we're starting to see the temperatures come down a bit, but these are above the average. We'll probably stay that way for at least a couple of days. I'll show you the radar very briefly. When we talk about stray storm, this is what we're talking about. There's one there. There's one that popped up there over Cavage's Mill Lake. We're really looking at very isolated showers, if any at all, and I think we'll carry that forecast through tomorrow. Overall, I think we're looking pretty good when it comes to our storm chances for the rest of this evening. Couldn't rule it out. Yesterday was another one of those scenarios where once you got the pot boiling, it's kind of a cascading effect. So I'll be watching it through the rest of this evening and tonight, but otherwise I think partly cloudy skies are expected. 72 for the overnight low. That's no surprise. It's been the same pattern over and over again. 91 for tomorrow. Humid, hot, stray storm possible. If that sounds familiar, it's the same pattern. But things are going to change at some point. In fact, I think once we see the temperatures warm up to around 90 degrees for Monday and likely into Tuesday with an afternoon shower storm possible, I think once we get into late Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll finally start to see some changes, and we are going to be watching the pattern eventually drop as some cooler air moves through sometime on Tuesday. I'll show you the 7-day here in just a moment. I do want to briefly talk about Hurricane Aaron, which has come down from its Category 5 status yesterday. It is still a major hurricane. It continues to move to the west-northwest. It's going to start that northern turn and does look to stay out over the open Atlantic. That's the current thinking. Some indications are that it may re-strengthen again. It's been undergoing a little bit of what we call an eye wall replacement cycle, where the eye wall collapses and then a new one rebuilds, but in doing so, it does weaken the storm overall before potentially re-strengthening again. Eventually, this will head into the northern Atlantic and should stay away from the east coast, but it's still going to cause some problems when it comes to swells, when it comes to rip currents, as well as high waves all along the east coast. If you have plans to go to the beaches here, just keep that in mind over the next week or so. 125 mile per hour maximum sustained winds currently. All right, let's talk about when that cool down arrives. 91 for Monday, 91 for Tuesday. Then there's a drop. Now, when I say it's going to get cooler, these are certainly closer to where we should be for this time of year. After that, look at Sunday, down to 81. Looks like some much cooler air may arrive a week from now.